What's up guys, and welcome back to yet another video. And in this video I'm going to create a reggaeton beat which is inspired by Bad Bunny, Feid, Chord, etc. So this is the hardware synth which Arturia sent me. It's an amazing product, and in this video I'm going to use it to create the bass lines. So this synthesizer creates mono synths, and if you're a nerd like me, this is just next level. So I'm really looking forward to using this one in the tutorial. So let's get started. So I want to create a more down-tempo reggaeton beat, so I'm going to adjust the BPM to 90. And for this video, I'm also going to use just Arturia synths from the collection V9. And if you're a reggaeton producer, a sound from Arturia is just all you need. If you listen to a lot of modern reggaeton, it's just based off vintage synths. So for example, in this video, I'm going to use the Prophet VS 4 or 5, and it's just so easy. So for example, I'm gonna pick a preset. So let's pick this jazz guitar, and it's just very easy to make some simple tweaks to the settings. So that's it. Right now, open up the piano roll. I'm gonna create this beat in, you can pick a random scale. In this case, let's say F minor natural. So I'm gonna start off at F4, and then put one note, one octave lower for the root note. So the root note is F, put one right here. And I'm going to use this G. Then create something which goes upwards. So copy this one again. So the next chord is this chord. Maybe make it more interesting. Lower this on one octave. That sounds way much better. And then let's copy it again. Then we use this F, G, C. And then we want to pick the note in between and not make it too difficult. So I'm going to reuse a lot of the notes. So we have this chord. So now the synth is so short, so I'm just gonna create something at random. Let's create something like this. So without having to adjust the sound, I think this is really cool. And maybe still add some more decay to the sound. So we could simply do that by adjusting this time knob. Sounds a little bit more fluent. So now let's add another layer, and in this case let's add another Prophet 5, and then we're going to pick keys. Let's say gleaming keys, this one. And then let's copy the upper section of the chord, and we're now making full chords. I'm going to use the ARP function, which I think is really cool, applying it to this chord progression. So this is the chord, so I've removed this one because I wanted to go downwards, and every chord has to consist out of 3 notes, as you can see right now. And right now you press Option A, is the arpeggiator function. You could also use Options, Tools, and then arpeggiate, this one. And then play around with the settings. So on default it was on flip, and I think that sounds pretty cool. That's it, maybe lower down one octave. I think we could use this in the intro of this beat. And then maybe use another layer. So I'm going to use the, let's say, another plugin from Arturia. Right now the chords maybe sound too flat, so there's not a lot going on. So we're going to add more rhythm to this specific chord progression. So I found this preset. Right now it sounds cool. And again, we're just going to copy these notes from the first progression, paste it into this one, and then again delete all these notes. And right now let's mess around. Maybe double this one. Ctrl V. That's it. Now we're still missing a top layer, so I'm gonna use, in this case, let's say analog lab, and let's search for another guitar preset. I want to use guitar in the main section or hook of the beat, and instead of creating the arrangement, I think when you create it up front, it's way easier to, in the end, arrange the whole beat, because in reggaeton still it is kind of simple compared to other genres, but I think it definitely has to be very memorable and just grabs your attention. So this one sounds crazy, like, yeah, like it says, a heavy distorted guitar sound. So right now I have a melody in mind. something like this. It's just the first thing which comes up to me. That's it, sounds perfect. So just duplicate it. And I'm just gonna leave it this simple. So this is the fuzz guitar. And right now we could easily link all the elements to the mixer. Because in one of my previous tutorials, you guys were asking me, what effects do you add and how do you in the end arrange a beat? So I'm gonna show you everything step by step right now. So right now we could just solo this jazz guitar. And let's start off with a filter mini, which is an awesome plugin. So I'm gonna add this mid scarf preset, just adds a little bit more of texture to the sound. And then of course I'm gonna add a delay. So I'm gonna use the Blade 140. And scroll through the presets, add some more decay. And then adjust the blend. And of course, then we're gonna add a sidechain. So I'm gonna add the Kickstarter 2 from Cable Guys, which is a really basic plugin. And that's basically it when it comes to this synth. And on the guitar or chords, I'm gonna add this Chorus Dimension D, which is one of my favorite plugins right now. Just widens up the whole sound. And of course, let's add some more reverb. Just the default preset. Adjust the blend. Sounds perfect. And right now, let's compress it a little bit. So we're gonna flatten the whole signal. So let's use this tube compressor with dynamics. And let's say mix bus mid control. Right now we're gonna adjust it. So it just passes the red signal right here, and we want a fast recovery time. So we're basically compressing the whole signal. And of course, in the end, after you've added the effects, I'm gonna add an EQ. So I'm gonna remove a little bit of the low frequencies, so we don't have those lows. And right here, there is annoying frequency, and boost a little bit of the highs right here. But right now, I think it's time to add some drums. Then we're gonna add the bass lines and then create the full beat. So right now I'm gonna use my new drum kit. So let's use kick 19. I'm gonna create that simple reggaeton 4x4 rhythm. And then we're gonna add a snare. So let's pick this one. So right now I want to add more snare layers, just to make it a little bit more unique. So this one contains a little bit of a metal feel, so metallic sound or something. And this one, to add some more mid-lows to the snare, simply just duplicate this pattern. And right now we're gonna create a snare bus, because otherwise it's gonna be way too messy. Then select snare 14 and then all link them to this one. And then lower down the volume of the most recent two which we've added. So I'm making it just a little bit more interesting, then lower down the volume. And then let's add a random EQ. EQ, let's say if there is something, drum loop and chancer. So I'm gonna flatten the signal a little bit more using the EQ. So that's it, just to make it a little bit more unique. So we've removed a little bit of the high frequencies using this preset. If you pick the right sounds, it will just sound good. So right now let's start off by adding the bass line. So guys, too bad I can't film this one and myself, so I just have to do it this way. So right now we have this basic sign right here, right from the hardware synth. So I'm gonna add the amplifier right now. Maybe add a little bit of resonance. And right now we're gonna add a little bit of a second oscillator. So right now I've made this one from scratch. And now we're gonna open up Edison. On input, press record. And then we're gonna play the sample or the hardware synth in C. Like that. Then we're gonna open up Edison and then we're just gonna drag this one into the channel rack like this. So we've created this sample. So we're going to call it, for example, sub. And this is the signal which we've recorded into FL Studio. And right now we're just going to press sample start. So we could just see it starts right now. I'm going to create a square so we can take fully control of the sample. And of course, right now we're going to link it to the mixer again. So to the same track where we've recorded it. And then of course, I'm going to add an EQ. So I'm going to Pro Q3 and remove some additional high frequencies. So I'm going to move this one to the side. So right now we're going to draw in the bass line. So we're going to draw in 3/4 of one step. This one. And then we're going to draw in G and then F. We're just following the root notes from a chord progression. And right now we definitely have to sidechain the bass from the kick, because the kick contains a lot of low frequencies. And of course the sub bass also contains a lot of low frequencies. So we're going to select the kick and then we're going to select this sub, this one. So insert 14, and then we're going to sidechain to this track, select it, and then we're going to open up the Kickstart 2, which I've already used in this tutorial. Then we're going to select audio, and then we're going to select settings, and then we select more settings, processing, and then we have sidechain L and R, and then we're going to select the kick. So right now it pops up, select it, and right now we're going to adjust the slope. So make sure it just blends very well together. And also when it comes to the sub bass, we're going to open up the envelope again and we're going to add a little bit of release. Just to make it a little bit more fluent. And then maybe let's add another bass line. So I'm going to use the JIP 8V again. So I found this really cool analog preset. So let's use this one. And then we're just going to follow the same notes as we did with the bass line. Like this. And lower down 1 octave. Really cool and deep bass line. So now we've created all the layers. And now we're going to select pattern picker right here, pattern 1, right mouse button, and then select split by channel. So now all the elements are split. So right now select them by pressing Shift, drag them all into the arrangement. And now it's time to arrange this beat. So for example, let's say we create a 24 bar beat already. So first I just want the jazz guitar to play. Then I want those plucks or this ARP to come in. And of course the bass line, which is very common in those types of beats. And then this is going to be the main part, so extended by 4 bars. And then maybe it's still too simple. So I'm going to make some tweaks to the jazzy guitar, this one. So let's copy it, create a new pattern, and just create some chords. And by using elements which we've already created, it's just way more easy instead of creating a whole another layer. So we're gonna just make simple chords. Lower it down. We could put it right here. And of course, we're gonna add a filter. So we could use the EQ, which we've already added. So we're gonna create a high cut like this. And then we're gonna select tools, less tweaked, create animation clip. So we've created this animation. So we'll create something like this. And this is also something which Tiny said in one of his interviews. Just add a lot of automation to the beat just to keep it interesting. You can definitely hear this when you listen to his productions. So I've lowered down the velocity of some of the notes at random, because they contain too much high frequencies. Then I'm gonna link the bass to the mixer. This definitely needs some additional tweaking, so I'm gonna add an EQ because there are some high ticking things going on, which I don't like. So a really cool trick, just automate the amount of reverb. So we have this blend knob right here, just select it and just create an animation clip again. And in this part right here, especially the intro and reggaeton, just add some more reverb. And when the beat drops, you definitely want to avoid a lot of reverb. So let's have a listen. Kind of chorus sound in the background right now, and I also don't like this transition from the gleaming keys. So also let's add an EQ with a high cut. Selected tools, so create an animation clip for this one, and I want it to fade out very slowly. So when those plugs are coming in the background, to announce something is going on, coming up. Maybe remove them right here. And we could also make the drums a little bit more interesting. So for example, this one, if you want to make this one unique, on the top right here, and then select make unique. And in this case, let's disable those ones. Make the kick also unique, remove it. That's it. And right now you could just copy this one into those ones. So altogether it sounds like this. Or now let's add some simple effects from the sample pack. So let's add some texture right here. Then let's stretch it to the tempo of the project like this. So it's way easier adding it. And then something which I just like to do is I just add it to the jazz guitar. So this one adds all the effects which we've added right here to this texture. Then add this uplifter. So I think that's it. So right now let's have a listen to the final result, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So still not too much going on. Maybe we could add another flute melody right here. Still very simple, leaves a lot of room for the artist. Main element. So that's it guys, I hope you enjoyed it. A big thanks for Arturia for sending me this hardware synth. I will definitely use this one in a lot of my tutorials. So just for creating some awesome and cool bass sounds. And if you're also interested in the sounds which I've used in this tutorial, make sure to check out the Merit Reggaeton sample pack. The link will be in the description. And if you want to see another reggaeton video, make sure to watch this video, and I hope to see you in one of my next tutorials. See you.